Hey everybody, it's Mike and Ev, and we are here in Oxford, and we are checking out some ruins here. This spot, if I can hold the phone still enough, we are looking at the old high school that used to stand in Oxford here. This is where it used to be. This is all some of the brickwork that remains of it. It's covered in moss, so it's hard to tell even what it is a lot of the time. Yeah. So we're off of Academy Street. So that's why Academy Street in Oxford would have its name, we assume, is because the school used to stand right here. It was that's not brick, but that's mortar. That held the bricks together. Let's duck back under this, okay? How do we duck back under? Quack, quack, quack. So there's a whole lot of history here. I've gone over it before, but there's a lot more to say when you look at it in specific terms from different locations. So the school was already on the 1874 Beers Atlas of Warren County, and I believe it was around that time that a lot of these newer schools were put in. See, there's kind of a hole here. I think that's associated with the school. I don't know if it was the privy because it's kind of big, but go around this way, Ev. So I think that was around the time that they started consolidating some of the very small schools into the larger ones again. And we're going to go right back down the way we came, okay, Ev? So, Ev's school in Washington on Taylor Street was also built in 1874 and then enlarged a lot from there. Oxford did not enlarge on this site, and its location on the hillside as well as some wetlands above really was not amenable to them building any further. Ev, we're going to show everybody where the railroad tracks used to cross, okay? Let's go back over and point at the railroad tracks. Can you point to everybody where the railroad tracks used to cross the road? Show everybody where the railroad tracks used to cross the road. That's right. So this was the Oxford Mine Railroad here. Lackawanna Railroad operated it. You can see it across the street. Let's walk a little closer, Ev. Lackawanna Railroad operated this in the... I know, it's okay. Lackawanna Railroad operated this, but not at first. So check this out. This road here, Academy Street, is built on the original 1856 to 1862 right-of-way that the Warren Railroad used before the Oxford Tunnel, or officially the Van Ness Gap Tunnel, was completed. This road is the railroad bed. So from 1856 till 1862, to take the circuitous route around West Oxford Mountain and County House Mountain. Want it closer? Okay, we'll go. To take that circuitous route around West Oxford Mountain and County House Mountain, they followed this here. All right, now let's go over here. We'll have a closer look of the Iron Mine Railroad bed, and then they developed a newer street onto the original right-of-way. So that's around the time that all these homes were built. Some of them were in place already by 1874, but not so many. And after they did this, then the newer Iron Mine Railroad, this one, went in place. Let's cross back over, Evan. We're going to walk over where the Iron Mine Railroad used to go from there. Now we're going to walk the railroad bed, okay? All right, I see it's a big pipe there. Evan, go on the other side of me, okay? Go on the other side of me. There you go. So this is the parking area for the West Oxford Mountain Preserve. It's a Warren County park. I'm really happy to say that this one here had very little to do with me now for once. There's some great people that got involved here. I did some scouting hikes for the trails, but because of work schedule and Ev had already been bored, I just wanted the time to do it like I used to. So we now have the Warren County Parks Foundation, people like Tim and Beth, but especially my friend Tom Lizzie, who I worked with him at Hunterdon County Parks. Shh, Ev, calm down. I worked with him at Hunterdon County Parks, and he put a whole lot of work into this, and he also has been putting up the boundaries as a volunteer around the outside of the Warren County Parks. So they're doing fantastic stuff. Now we have a parking lot here and a trail system, and I'm just glad to see that the stuff is going on. There's great people involved, whether I'm involved with it or not. That's just awesome. And I'm just so glad Tom's involved, because I ended up doing some trail development with him in Hunterdon, and it was just a fantastic experience. So kudos to our volunteers that made all this happen here at West Oxford Mountain. Nice loop trails up through here. So Ev, here, we'll come back. We'll get one of those on the way back, okay? We're going to show everybody else the rest of the railroad bed, okay? So this was the Iron Mine Railroad here. And then you have the Catholic Church over here. This was built a little bit later. The railroad was still in place when, for a long time after that came through. This church over here was built in 1902. And the house next to it was the preacher's house. So now there's two bridges here. I think they were both at one time rail, but here, see over here, we got, there's a lot going on over here. This is obviously a newer one. It's got some concrete form to it. There's two bridges, right, and this one's a pipe. So straight across the right-of-way went, and then the road to Oxford Furnace Lake is the railroad right-of-way. Originally it broke away from that on the left, and it's the switchback that used to go up there. The switchback was replaced with a more roundabout route in later years. So that's a little bit of the history here. Now one other thing here, there was another little junction, and over this way, I'd like to hold my hand for just a second so I can point one more thing out to everybody, okay? There's what looks like a little dam over here. Let me zoom in a little bit. You see that? So, yeah, it does kind of serve as a dam, but more importantly, that was a railroad spur. Over this way, it weaved up and around and went to the Squires Mine further up. You can see it along Mine Hill Road. We've covered a lot of stuff on this before too, because Mine Hill Road at this spot is the original Spruce Run Turnpike, chartered in 1813. So a whole lot of transportation history came together right here at this spot that's now part of the West Oxford Mountain Preserve. This has been an iron town since the furnace was completed just down the street in 1741, so a lot of this came together and was a major part of the industrial area. Oxford was named because Oxford was actually what we now call Hazen, over at the corner of Brass Castle Road and what's now 519. And that's why that's called the Old Oxford Church over there. They called this Oxford Furnace because it was, because it was a close proximity to it. So anyway, that's a little bit right there from the lot of the West Oxford Mountain Preserve. Thanks for watching. Ev, can you say hi to everybody?
Hi.
And then say bye?